I went to county 21 years ago. You know, I was pregnant and I was addicted to meth. I was literally smoking. Me losing my rights. My rights were severed. That I chose men and drugs over my kids. My daughter was adopted by my little sister. I didn't see her for 3 years. Like, the guilt and the shame from that, unbearable. Absolutely. Nothing in God's world happens by mistake either. And my faith in God lately, like, I know that everything that is going on in my life is thanks to God. I have all 3 of my children back in my life. Like, I can't even believe my life is this now.
Well, welcome, guys, to the Plugged In podcast. My name's Wade. I'm the host. I'm the CEO of Plugged In Recovery. We have back, you didn't get to see the first one, but this is a reshoot. We have back one of my favorite people, Kristen Day.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
How have you been since we've last met?
Oh my gosh. I'm really glad that it happened that way because there's so much that has happened in the last month, you know. Honestly, in the last 2 months, life's been crazy.
Life's been crazy. You've gotten to do so many cool things.
So
we were just
many.
briefly talking about it.
Yeah.
But give us a rundown. And give us a rundown how these opportunities happen, because I think they're all gifts of being sober.
So I have been modeling since I got sober.
Yep.
And I was like a plus size model for a while.
Okay.
And then I had my gastric bypass in 2022. And I had an opportunity to start modeling in a smaller, you know. And last year, I ended up going to New York Fashion Week. And I got to go back this year and walk in 2 different shows, and it was super awesome. And like, I'm a shout out junkie from like North Phoenix. Like, this shit doesn't happen, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had a billboard in like Times Square. All of us were on it, and it was just, there was like 15 of us that went.
Really?
And it was so dope.
That is
dope.
amazing. So, and even just hitting on that real quick, you were in the plus size modeling, then you had gastric bypass. How is, because you hear people talk about when they get sober, right? They go through changes, they do all of those types of things. How is even going through a surgery like that in sobriety?
It was wild. You know, we get sober, we gain weight.
Yeah.
I had gained 100 pounds, and I was like miserable in my skin. My husband loves me the way that I am.
Always.
You know what I mean? But he was like, I support you if this is what you want to do. So my sponsor had went and got gastric bypass in Mexico. I was like, well, if you don't die and everything goes good, I'll go. So the next year I went, and it was a great experience. Like, they treat you like 5-star hotel, take care of you. They're like, it's dope. And I went with another friend in sobriety, and we both got it done and then kind of just took care of each other. But we get sober, and like, I can put the drugs and alcohol down, but food is an addiction.
Oh my gosh.
It's like a real thing.
Yes.
So I'm even going through some stuff right now. Like, I just feel like I'm gaining more weight now, and I'm like, oh God, you know, like, I have these dreams like, oh my God, I'm going to get back to where I was. And I'm not.
No.
But it's a thing.
And you've been dedicated in the gym, I've seen.
I've been trying my best. Yeah. Life is busy, you know, but I'm trying to push myself, and like, if I can go to a meeting for an hour, I can go to the gym for an hour.
Yes.
So I'm working on it. Progress, not perfection.
Right.
You know, when I had my gastric bypass too, like, my husband started really going to the gym. So I can't work out with him because I feel like a weak person.
Not enough.
Right.
Yeah, it's just like
Absolutely. But he supports me, and he tries to help as much as he can.
Well, he's wonderful.
Yes,
A human
he
being
is.
just in general.
Absolutely.
So we'll kind of go back through the story to
Yeah.
catch people back up. You started out born and raised in North Phoenix.
I was born in Fort Hood, but
Fort Hood.
I moved here in 96.
In
so
96.
I claim it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Claim it. And you were pretty much, if I remember right, a West Side girl completely.
Absolutely. I did
Okay.
not come to the East Valley. Like, East Valley was like a third world country to me. I didn't get high over here, anything like that. So I always stayed over out in Surprise, Glendale, North Phoenix, and I've always been there.
And normal childhood, crazy childhood?
I mean, my dad was an alcoholic.
Okay.
You know, he was in the military, so we moved around a lot. And then, like I said, I moved here with my mom and my stepdad. Um, and I went to Deer Valley High School and go Seahawks.
Go Seahawks.
But yeah, it just, my thing is that I always wanted to fit in with everybody. So like peer pressure, my girlfriends were having sex. I wanted to have sex so that I fit in. I started smoking weed and drinking on the weekends. And my stepdad was really strict, so he tried to keep me in this bubble.
Yeah,
But like, I know doing that, I rebelled,
of course.
and like, you're not my dad. I don't have to listen to you. And then my mom and my stepdad would get sick of me and they would send me to my dad's. And my dad and my stepmom, I would do the same thing over there. And I caused so much chaos and just made it hard for everybody. So it's crazy because I got to go to California in June. My stepmom has Alzheimer's and dementia.
Okay.
And she's nonverbal. So she really doesn't remember who I am, but I can see like certain moments she has like I know she's in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's so sad. My little brother had passed away and I got to go and spend some time with my dad and just be there for him and like, really talk to him and make an amends to, the stuff that I caused as a kid. And just being there for him, supporting him through it, it was cool. I got to see like her family because they would send me to Mexico on like summer and send me over there because I was a pain in the ass, I literally was a pain in the ass. I was such a little shit. And I can, remember calling my mom crying like, they sent me over here. And sleeping in an air mattress in the kitchen and like having to wash my clothes on the washboard and like, you think you have it so bad? This is how you're going to live.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, it was horrible. So, but getting to go out there and like see her family and make an amends too and just, be a part of that. It was a big healing moment. I went through a lot of death this year.
Yeah.
A lot.
Lost a sponsee.
I did. In July, she was my first sponsee. Literally, I've been through everything with that little girl. 3 years in prison, I was with her. We did her steps, everything. She was the first woman I took through the steps. And going through that, and, I got to suit up and show up for her mom. And, we did, so I didn't know, like, when you donate your organs and stuff, all the stuff that comes with it. So I got to learn that if I ever pass away, this is what my family will have to go through and ask, having all the answers for all these little questions, and these were questions that her mom didn't know. But I did because I've done many 4 steps with her, you know what I mean? So I got to answer some uncomfortable ones, but I got to be there with her and we got to push her to the OR and she donated her organs and they got to use her heart, her heart, both of her kidneys and her liver.
Wow.
And that went to 3 different people. So it saved 3 people's lives, and it's such a beautiful thing from such an ugly situation.
Yeah.
She had a 1.5 years sober and she had a moment.
Oh, no.
And got high and overdosed one time. And that wasn't the only time that she had overdosed.
No.
Like there's been a couple times, but she had finally had like a 1.5 years sober. And it just takes that one time, And I was devastated, like as sponsors, we're like, what could I have done better? What did I do wrong? What could I have done to save her?
It's tough to not take it personal.
For sure. And there's nothing that I could have done. No. I really couldn't. It was crazy because this past weekend, I got a text message and she was like, I think you're my grand sponsor. Taylor was my sponsor and I haven't been able to get a hold of her. And I was like, oh, honey.
Yeah.
And she's like, I kept messaging and nothing. And I was like, I'm sorry to tell you. She's up in Prescott. And I was like, I'm sorry to tell you, but she passed away. And she's like, oh my God. I'm like, I'm sorry that I have to tell you over text.
Yeah.
But yeah, like this is what happens. And she's like, wow, I can't even believe it, you know? So,
Did you notice any signs with her? Was there anything that, just for anybody who's listening, that it was like, you don't see it coming, right? But like sometimes there's those, maybe she was a little distant for a little bit, or.
She was distant.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was distant. And she gets, we're our own worst critic.
100%.
We get in our heads and things happen and we, start feeling crappy about ourselves. And her boyfriend had left for the weekend with his daughter.
Okay.
And they went to Texas to get something for his work and then drove back. And they both walked in and she was on the floor. Oh, no. So like this little girl, like, I can't imagine, the pain. Taylor's been like a mom to her for the last 3 years. So it just, we don't realize the pain that we cause our families when we do things like this.
Yeah.
Until it's not there anymore, and it's really hard. So now in my life, like I see the pain that I caused my kids. And the things that I have done and my actions, like, it's a lot, It really is. And it's sad. But I'm just trying to be a better person and be better than I was yesterday.
Which is all you can do. I mean, if you get 1% better,
right,
at the end of the day, I mean, that adds up over time.
For sure.
With those results. And it's just a little bit of momentum. And I think that is one thing I can relate to is how many times did I say they would be better off without me,
Yep.
And the reality is after so many funerals and crappy situations where people get locked up for years, it's like, no, like the pain of that can be, insurmountable.
Absolutely.
For the people going through it and that ripple of the people it affects. And again, it doesn't necessarily have to be this long drawn out. It's like she made one mistake.
Right.
One mistake, one time.
Right. And that's all it takes.
And that's all it takes.
Literally. So
I'm really, I'm sorry you're still going through that. And I know it is very tough not to take those personal.
Yeah.
But the fact you get to suit up and show up, like you said,
absolutely
is amazing.
And the ugly situation, yes, she died, but she got to save 3 people's lives.
Which is,
amazing.
I mean, that is the gift of sobriety, is the gift of family. It is the gift of like, hey, I can turn something that is so ugly into something that is so beautiful that those people will forever thank her for.
Absolutely.
And that impact. So went through that. You had Fashion Week.
Yep.
You went to the Hopeaholics.
I did.
Okay, tell us about that.
Oh my gosh. So I flew out to California at the end of August, and I got to go be on the Hopeaholics.
See their facility.
Yes. And I got to do some tours out there while I was there, and it was super dope, dude. Like their whole setup is absolutely amazing. One day I hope to have something like that, But they're awesome people, and I love what they're doing there. And it's crazy to see like the difference from Arizona to California. I know that a lot of their stuff there is really strict in their certificates that they have to have. Like, it's wild to kind of see the comparison, but yes, it's the same, but it's different too.
Yeah.
So, but I had so much fun.
Their facilities are phenomenal.
Oh my gosh.
The gym is phenomenal.
Yes.
I had said this, it was so cool to watch Chad and Natalie walk through the facility and they call everybody by name.
Right.
They know everybody. They're very personable. They let staff kind of joke with them and make fun of them. They make fun of each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's so cool to see these people, be who they are on screen as they are off screen.
No, totally. And I got to talk to Natalie a little bit, because I had talked about therapy.
Yeah.
And she started therapy, and I'm like, oh, because she was like, this is the 3rd time I've heard it. Like, obviously, God is telling me I need to start.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was super cool just to watch it all, unfold, and it was super dope.
And it was a fire podcast.
Thank you.
Absolutely amazing.
Thank you. Yeah.
You are so great on camera, and you could just see how, excited and vulnerable you got.
Yeah.
Which was cool.
Always. And, I go into the jails, into the prisons, and I take a meeting into the jail on Sunday nights and
Every
at
Sunday?
Estrella. Uh-huh.
Oh, wow.
At
Okay.
Estrella. And I get to go into one of the intake dorms. When I was locked up, you went into the chapel. So now they let us go into the dorm, and they actually take us in and lock us in. And we go in the TV room and we do a meeting. And Colby and I go. And a couple weeks ago, a girl was like, she was sitting in there and they cry. They're vulnerable, So she's crying and she's like, I'm going to walk out. Like, this is too much. And I'm like, what's too much? And she's like, your story. Like, it's just too much. And I was like, what do you want me to sugarcoat it and tell you that I didn't do these things? Like, it's my story and I'm super vulnerable about it and sharing my truth, that I chose men and drugs over my kids, And she's like, I just can't. Like, it's too hard. And I was like, I understand. I do. But you're going to get to a point where you're hearing all these things because you've been going through it too. Yeah. And, so going in on Sundays, I absolutely love it. And then we get to go into Perryville as well and take a meeting in there too. So I'm badged to go into both, all of them. So I've been working a lot. Like, that's where my heart is. They need love, and they're super vulnerable. And I love what they're doing. And they have so many programs in there.
Yeah.
And so Redeemed has been working with Crossroads now and like getting client or inmates, getting the inmates out after they finish their 10-week program. So Perryville as well.
Yeah.
And not just Perryville, Lewis, all of them. I have, COs that message and are like, hey, we want to know the intake thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it doesn't work like that. Like, they have to come to the treatment center once they get out.
Yeah.
We don't have like an application. But with Redeemed in MCSO, we can, work with their defense attorney and helping them get out. So it's super cool.
There's I think so much. It's so awesome to see the reinvestment that is going into that system to try to help people.
Right.
That I feel like, even from what years were you in?
So I was only in county. Like, I never made it to prison. So I went to county 21 years ago.
Okay.
I was pregnant and I was addicted to meth. I was literally smoking meth, and I got indicted. I had sold 2 ounces of meth to an undercover cop. And yeah, but I'm so grateful for that experience because, first of all, it helped me stop doing meth.
Yeah.
And, I ended up getting out. My parents finally bonded me out, and I went to treatment. And then I had my daughter. She was 9 pounds, 22 and a half inches long, and not a trace of meth in her. And that's God, because I don't know where I would have been if I stayed out there.
Yeah.
I would have never stopped, So sometimes God intervenes and makes us go through these things that we need to get where we are.
And not only that, but being able to use that individual story to, like you said, go back now.
And tell them. And I get to go into that same dorm that I was locked up in, K dorm. And I'm like, I stayed in that bed right there, That's where I was for 3 months. And it's awesome. Like I said, that's where my heart is right now, is just getting to these girls and to the guys and all the stuff that they have available to them. It's a big thing.
And DHS, actually, we were just at one of our quarterly meetings with them. they're rolling out rulemaking on what's now going to be called transitional housing. And it is designed specifically for reentry.
Wow.
So different than sober living.
Right.
It will give all the POs and everybody way more access to go into the houses.
Okay.
And it'll add the clinical component. So they're in the very beginning stages. We are working on different things right now to help kind of lead the way on that.
For sure.
Because it is needed.
It is.
And it's just, I see it even in our sober living houses.
Mm-hmm.
They're not bad people. They're not,
right.
But
we just
there
make
isn't
stupid decisions.
There's an integration period though that they also need.
Yeah.
That is tough when you just put them in sober living,
Right.
and there's a different mentality that they just came from. You know, there's different. Don't come around the corner so fast.
Right.
And it's just like
Don't walk behind me.
I've come around this corner the same way my whole life. You know what I mean? Like, or
For
don't
sure.
walk behind me. Don't do that. Just like you said, and it's like.
It's wild.
Other people have never had that experience.
Yeah.
So it's,
they don't know what to do.
It's that fight or flight thing of like, I don't know how to walk on eggshells, but I think that is something that is coming down the pipeline that will be tremendous. Hopefully Arizona leads the way on it.
I really hope so. Because even when I was at the Hopeaholics, like I had asked, like, what does your guys' prison system look like? Like, do they have tablets here? And they were like, I don't know. I have no idea. But there's so many things, like Thornell is reimagining corrections. I have Sheriff Sheridan. He is coming on my podcast at the end of the month.
Yes.
And I'm like super excited to talk to him.
How did you line that up?
I just asked.
Just asked?
I just asked. Yeah, he came and checked out our facility at Crossroads East. And I was like, hey, like, would you ever come on the podcast? And he's like, yeah. Just message my chief of staff, and I was like, okay, thank you.
Wow.
And boom. And then I met Sherry Oz over at the fentanyl forum that the DEA and the Attorney General's office, they put on. It's like a big convention. And I met her, and I was like, oh, my God, dude. Like, I was starstruck. Like, she's such a bad bitch.
Yeah.
Bad bitch.
Yeah.
And she helped take down El Chapo. And I got to set her up to come on too. And I had Thornell come on. He came on in January of last year.
Okay.
So it was super awesome just to talk to them all about, what they're doing and what we can do as a community to help them as well.
Yes.
Like I think that's where the thing is that we just need to come together. It's not about working against each other. If we all come together, we're going to be able to help so many more people than trying to, I'm better than you, I'm better than that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not what we're doing.
And what I found is, a lot of times, no different, whether it's like the people who are deep in addiction or homelessness or, any problem in life is the problem seems to somehow not be as bad when you shine a little light on it.
Right.
But you let it stay in those dark places.
They're going to keep getting loaded.
They're going to keep getting loaded. And, the worst things will continue to happen because the community doesn't want to deal with it. But if you can recognize, just like an addiction, you recognize like, hey, like this is a problem.
Yeah.
What can we do to address it as a whole?
Absolutely.
Not just try to pick off these certain people because then the problem still persists. Tends to get a lot of light on it. So what's new with the podcast?
So we just
Some
went
amazing news.
visual.
Yes.
Yes. And I've been watching you guys and, a whole bunch of different podcasts. And I'm like, I went to the CEO. I'm like, listen, I need you to let me do this.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're never going to go viral. We're never going to, I have so many envisions of things that I want to do. And finally, last week, they let me. So it drops this Friday. And I had Brock from the Fentanyl Project. Have you ever met him?
No.
Oh, my gosh. He's amazing. You have to meet him. And he's an East Valley guy.
Okay.
So he drives around in his Fentanyl Project van. and passes out Narcan and talks to homeless people out there and giving them resources. And he was a Mesa cop. And like, I'm just like, holy shit, dude. You know, he got medically retired because he got hit while he was working by a person that was under the influence.
Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah. So he lost his career, got addicted to opiates, and then now he's living his life's purpose and totally changing the world and going out there and spreading hope. And, you know, he didn't go to treatment or anything, but he did it on his own.
Yeah.
And whatever works for you.
Yeah.
Like, we have to love them where they're at.
100%.
You know what I mean? And now he's got like 15 years sober and living his best life. And I'm just like, holy shit, like that's dope. You know?
I was pumped for you because I was like, listen, I love the sound of your voice.
Thank you.
But you have a 4K or a 5K face
Thank
that
you.
you can't not put on screen.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's a game changer. The CEO messaged me last night and he's like, congratulations. Like, it's going to be a big deal. You know, now I'm going to be able to chop up some micro content because that's a big deal too,
Yes.
is getting those 30-second or 45-second clips and getting them drawn in. And then they're like, oh, I want to see what else they have to say.
Yes.
You know? So I'm super excited to where this is going to go. And I wish that I could have went back and like did Thornell, executive director of all DOC. I wish I could have got his visual as well, but we'll be able to get Sheriff's visual and Sherry's. So
and maybe they'll come back.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
I mean, it leads kind of time for that. I think what we have to realize is people, as much as you want to go, you know, recovery tells us, go a mile deep, inch wide. But most people's time span in their day and doom scrolling is they have 30 seconds to get caught, and then later on they can see it. So I think that'll be really big for you guys. So with all the exciting stuff that's coming, you know, that you just had, what's next? What's coming up?
Oh God, my husband and I leave tomorrow. October 18th, 19th, and 20th, or 17th, 18th, and 19th is the Rocky Point Roundup. And we're going out there. I'm the main speaker for Saturday night. I'm super nervous.
What is a roundup for most people who probably don't know?
So
online?
It's a huge convention where a whole bunch of alcoholics and addicts get together, and you know they do little seminars and they do speaker meetings and a huge sobriety countdown, and so.
And you get to be a main speaker.
I know. It's like, pinch me, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening, but I've put in a lot of work and I've done a lot of things to get where I am.
Yeah.
And God keeps blessing me more and more and more every day. Like, I can't even believe my life is this now. God willing, I'll make November 22nd, I'll have 8 years. So, yeah, it's wild.
And just what you've accomplished in 8 years.
Oh my gosh. And it's still like getting better and better, you know? Somebody asked me, because I just celebrated my birthday last Sunday, 43, and they're like, what do you want for your birthday? And I was like, honestly, like I have everything I've ever wanted. I have all 3 of my children back in my life. I have 2 bonus children. I have an amazing husband. We have an amazing business.
Yeah.
I have a great job where I get to get paid to do what I love, you know? And I couldn't ask for anything else, you know? I'm just content in the moment.
Yeah.
And bettering myself every day.
And how cool is it to be in a place that you are today? Because I love when I can just see it on someone.
Yeah.
That I was talking to someone yesterday, and they were just at 18 months. They're like, I don't really feel different, but they had, you could see, made the what I call is like the turn, right? And the turn is that spiritual turn where it's like, no longer are things happening to me. No longer are they like, you get to just see that everything is happening for me in my life, right? Whether I can see it right now in the moment, it was a bad day. It doesn't mean you still don't have bad days, or maybe in a
Oh my
bad
God.
couple days or a week,
Absolutely.
right? It sounds like it with like the sponsee thing that happened. It's like, obviously that's not fun for anybody.
Not at all.
But like you get to see the perspective change on how you look at life.
Mm,
And then when you have that, you don't need a whole lot
right.
else.
And like I said, I've dealt with so much death in 2025. My son lost his girlfriend in February.
Oh, no.
And 26 years old, never did drugs, never, doesn't drink, watched her sugar intake. She got the flu, pneumonia, and strep throat and passed away. And in our industry, like, we're so accustomed to seeing overdoses and people dying from drug addiction. To see that little girl go through that. And like, I was there the 9 days she was on life support right by her side, because my son asked me, like, Mom, please be there. Please advocate for her. And I did. And it was gut-wrenching, And then the following month, I dealt with another death of an artist that we had working for us, overdose. And she got sick and then passed away. So, like, God has been really, and then May, my little brother, passed away. He had gotten sober in Florida, moved to Michigan. They found him at a bus stop, hunched over. He only had methadone in his system, but sometimes, like, we get sober and we don't take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
His heart gave out. All the addiction and all the stuff that he had put in his body, and now it all caught up to him. And then I went through, my sponsee, and we went through a coworker that passed away sober. And it's like, wow, like, God, I get it, but like, chill out now.
Yeah.
I'm
It's like,
so
take a
over the whole
break.
death thing. Like, I really cannot handle being in somebody's room again and dealing with their death.
Yeah.
Because 3 of them, I was in the room while they passed away.
Oh.
And again, but like, my son's girlfriend, it literally, the best thing of it is that it rebuilt a bond between me and my son, and getting to be there for him and be sober and love him through the moment. It repaired something that we didn't have.
Yeah.
Because I didn't raise him. My parents raised him. And my 21-year-old, her adopted parents raised her. So it's, I'm just rolling with the punches.
You got to lean on my, and it makes you see, anytime I deal with it, how precious life is.
Absolutely.
Something that can just be taken for granted.
Yep.
Of, again, with that perspective of everything's happening to me and it's selfish and me and I. And then you see someone go through something like that and you're just like,
oh my gosh.
why, how dare I complain about something so small?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Nothing in God's world happens by mistake either.
Mm.
And my faith in God lately, like, I know that everything that is going on in my life is thanks to God. Me losing my rights were severed. My daughter was adopted by my little sister.
Yeah.
I didn't see her for 3 years. Like, the guilt and the shame from that, unbearable.
Yeah.
And I get to have a relationship with her. I talk about, like, I'm trying to just do so many things to better myself. I just finished taking a class called Raising My Voice.
Okay.
And it's for women that were, justice impacted.
Mm-hmm.
And we get to learn to articulate our story in a different, not just a recovery setting.
Okay.
So having like a call to action and like it's like a 10 to 12 minute testimony. And then we go and we present it to the congregation. And I got to do that 2 weeks ago.
All right.
I'm telling
let's
you,
go.
like, it's wild. And my daughter was sitting right there. You know what I mean? Like, God. And I couldn't help but cry,
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't help but cry and listening and her listening to the words and just because it was about her and my relapse and me losing her. I was 3 weeks away from my reunification date, and I got high. I got cocky, like, oh, I got this.
Yeah.
I ain't got shit, and I lost her. And the rights were severed, and she was adopted, and so
The full circle.
I'm telling you.
And what I hear over and over again, even with all the bad things that happen, and you're just this conversation is a perfect example of this. It's like, how many times when you're getting loaded, you hear it too. I don't want to feel anything. I hate when, and now it's just like, I love all of the good, the bad, the in between. Like, I love the feelings today.
For sure.
I love being overwhelmed with joy. I love, being sad and getting to share in that sadness with someone else.
Right. No, totally. And I get to raise two beautiful bonus children that aren't mine. We have full custody of my husband's two kids, 9 and 11. And now I feel like, honestly, I get to be the mom that I was meant to be. And I get to help them go through things. Like, I lost my daughter at 10 and a half. So Harmony is 11.
Okay.
And I'm getting to make up for the things that I missed, and I'm able to be present and love them, and like I said, just being the mom that I was meant to be.
Yeah.
We go to church on Sundays. They participate in children's church, and it's a beautiful life, man. Such a beautiful life. And we get to do all these fun things
In between.
In between.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, you're built for it. Well, tell everybody where they can find you, where they can see the pod now as well.
Yes. So you can find me on Facebook, Kristen Day. You can find me on Instagram, Kristen Day 82. TikTok is Kristen Day 11/7/21. It's my husband and I's wedding anniversary.
Love it.
And then the podcast is called Recovery on Air. I can send you a link so that you can.
I'll attach the link to the bottom of it.
Perfect.
It didn't. Do you have a Facebook page on it?
I don't.
I couldn't tag it on Facebook when I was trying to tag. Okay.
Yeah.
So definitely check it out. You are gonna see, obviously, as she mentioned, amazing different guests that are on there. She brings an awesome perspective to life, as you're getting to see here today, and knows all the right questions to ask. So I want to thank you again, not only for just coming on and sharing this with us second time with us, but just being the advocate that you are and wonderful human being.
I appreciate it.
So we are lucky to have you, and we'll do it sooner rather than later.
Perfect.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.